Let us turn now to Erich Fromm's social psychological theory. Two questions occupied Fromm throughout his life. First, why do people behave irrationally? And the second question was, what makes many people think, feel, and act similarly? Why do people think differently than they actually behave? Why do they act against their own values? Why are they plagued by groundless fears? Or why do their intentions fail? Why are people, for example, aggressive for no reason? They hate or are destructive without feeling threatened and having to defend themselves. Why do people show a desire to destroy? Or a completely different example of irrational behavior. Why do people always want to be like the others without having their own judgment or feeling their own demands? Fromm was already moved by this question in 1914, when the First World War broke out and everyone was enthusiastic of the war. Fromm answered this first question, what makes people think, feel, and act irrationally and dysfunctionally, with the insights of Sigmund Freud's psychoanalysis about the unconscious and repressed. When certain affects such as fear, feelings such as aggression, ideas such as grandiosity, or desires such as erotic longings are taboo for personal or social reasons or lead to conflicts, people can repress them so that they are no longer aware of them. And yet the repressed controls his thinking, feeling, and acting in masked way. For instance, aggression is projected so that not I, but the other is experienced as aggressive. The repressed has the effect that people behave irrationally because they are not aware of certain affects, desires, and so on. The second question that preoccupied Fromm throughout his life is what makes many people think, feel, and act similarly. So it is about the group behavior and about the question which inner strivings lead to a similarity of the behavior so that it comes to a living together, and not to a confusion and a social anomie. What inner drives bring about a similar thinking, feeling, and acting of the many, even if it is irrational or hostile. It was precisely this question that led Fromm to combine the psychoanalytic findings on repression with a sociological question of what inwardly causes people to behave in a uniform manner. Whenever an individual behaves in a permanently consistent manner, a psychic structure formation occurs, which is called character formation. This can be rational or irrational, as for example a compulsive character illustrates, which is compulsively clean. Fromm's ingenious idea was to explain what makes many people think, feel and act similarly with a special character formation which he called social character. This too can be more or less irrational and counterproductive, or as Fromm says, non-productive for the achievement of a successful togetherness. The social character differs from the individual character with regard to its function and its formation. The individual character enables the individual to experience a certain identity and shapes the behavior typical for him or her in a consistent way. The social character enables many people to behave in a similar way so that social living together becomes easier. It forms the cement of a social group and, above all, it enables the individual to feel that he or she belongs to a social group. The individual character develops on the basis of repeatedly made and therefore internalized experiences of relatedness, which apply only to this individual, with early attachment figures on the basis of personal circumstances, sibling experiences, blows of fate, and so on. The social character results from the adaptation and internalization of the possibilities and requirements of the economy, the cultural and technical conditions, and the social living together. It arises from the innate need for a sense of social identity. The crucial point is, in each individual human being, society, which with its economic and cultural requirements of living together, is also represented, which make the individual think, feel and act in a way that is necessary for a certain social living together. The dependence of social character on socio-economic conditions is expressed in different social character orientations, depending on which requirements dominate in a particular society. 4 social orientations will later be described in more detail: the authoritarian, the marketing and the narcissistic orientation, as well as the ego-oriented character that I identified with Fromm's method.